Okay, so after you have your glaze chart drawn out, you're going to want to label where you're going to place your colors. And so I decided to start with my yellows and basically move this way so that they'd all kind of go based on like the color wheel. So lemon yellow, cad yellow, then I'm going to go to alizarin orange, cad red, and you can abbreviate, so it's cadmium red, alizarin crimson, then phthalo violet, or phthalo violet, I think it's phthalo, I don't know, violet, indigo, ultramarine, phthalo blue, hooker's green, I assume that's a person, and then lastly, viridian green. Now, if you really wanted to try browns or anything, you could add some more columns over here. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to start, I think I'm going to paint horizontally across first. We're just going to do one color at a time. And so in your sets, we don't really have a brush that is this width. This one isn't so bad though. It's pretty gosh darn close. So you could, if you wanted to use that, you could also use your sumi brush because of course it will hold lots and lots of water. Sadly, it won't be very straight though. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I taped the bottom of this and I put it so that it was like this, so it's kind of like a block. So hopefully it will warp less. And I also used my clips to kind of keep it nice and flat. The next time we do an actual like practical, I'll teach you how to stretch your watercolor paper. So I'm going to see what it looks like with just doing my sumi brush. So I'm going to go ahead and activate the lemon yellow. And we want it to be a strong color without being too dark. Since it's a glaze chart, we have to make sure that we can see the color, but also we want to be able to see through it. So I'm going to go ahead and paint in the lemon yellow and try to keep it in the lines. So if you feel like the color is not bright enough, you could go back into the color and you could put in some more color. That actually did a pretty good job of controlling it in the edges. I'm practicing how to stay in the lines because, you know, as a painter, sometimes you want to stay in the lines. So it's good to kind of figure out, you know, that control. So I'll go ahead and paint in the cad yellow. And I can kind of clean up, you know, if I need to go up to an edge. If I need to lift out any of the color, I can. Okay. Another thing, if you feel like you go out of the lines at all, you can always blot some of the color out to kind of clean it up too. Make sure to clean your brushes really well every time you go to the next color. So now I've got to skip, so I got to go to the orange. So make sure you grab the right color. You can always go back to your color chart to help you remember your colors. That's kind of transparent. So I'm going to want to go in there and add another layer of orange. There we go. That looks like orange now. You can see it's starting to buckle a little bit because there's a lot of water in this color. Let's switch our paintbrushes and see if it works better with another. So then the next one I need is my cadmium red. So this is kind of like an orangey red. It's kind of like a, what's the color? What am I trying to say? Poppy red, kind of like a poppy red. Yeah, that brush just does not hold a lot of water. So if you're going to use a smaller brush, you might have to dunk it in a lot to be able to get it to go all the way across. But if that helps you to make it more crisp, you can totally do that. I really like the natural hair bristle brushes. So if you have your own set of paintbrushes, you could totally grab one of those naturals. Remember that flick test with the brushes, right? If it's really loose, it holds lots of water, right? Right, it doesn't really flick. Those are best for watercolor. So if you have one of those as a flat, and even like a bigger size, you might like that for this assignment. I personally do have all those brushes, but I don't think it's fair for me to use it in my demo if you guys don't have it at home. Okay, so keep going through with each color. Try to stay in the lines as best you can. If you go out like a little bit, you can always go back in, kind of blot it out while it's wet. See how easy that was to kind of clean that up? All right, keep going to the next color. So I think you guys got the gist of this, so I probably don't need to keep going here with the recording. I'll go and make another video for the overlap, or I'll demonstrate it in class.